All right, we're here with Tyler, and this is it called the Acoustic Lab? Or?
Yeah, this is our acoustics or audio lab.
And what types of things do you do here?
So here we do a whole multitude of audio testing, both at an electronics level, but also at an acoustics level. On this particular station, we do the actual audio circuit testing, so we can actually test the audio circuitry. And we also do some acoustical modeling. So we have some software that allows us to go in and predict the performance of the acoustics of a device based on some mathematical type modeling. And it helps us shorten our design time, so we don't have to actually go and physically build every single model. We can actually simulate it.
So what types of products come through here? Obviously the new webcam, the
Absolutely.
HD webcam.
So the HD webcam, cinemas, we've ran that through here. Also, we do some headsets. We do some support for Xbox and Zune and some of the other groups as well. So.
And I hear from everybody that there's the coolest room ever here.
There is the coolest room here ever.
Can we see it?
Absolutely. So this is the anechoic chamber. You can go ahead inside. I'll close the door behind you here.
Wow, it's kind of what you can tell as soon as you walk in that there's something different about this room.
Yes. So this is an anechoic chamber, which basically means there's no echoes. So it's designed to absorb all reflections and bouncing of audio.
This is absolutely bizarre.
Yes.
Wow. And it's kind of a trampoline thing going on here on the floor.
Exactly. That's so we can actually have these absorbing wedges on the floor as well as the walls and the surfaces.
So no echo from the floor or anywhere?
No echo from anywhere. And also it has a very low noise floor, so we can be very quiet in here and measure the smallest details and what we're looking for. And the whole reason we have this facility is because in any sort of audio system, it's partly your components, but it's also the facility you're in that sets up the experience. And so we want to strip out the facility or the room so that when we measure things, we can actually see how the device works. And then when we put it back in the room, we can understand the room characteristics. So.
Yeah. Wow. So do you ever come in here and just kind of sit?
Disappear, scream. It's definitely tempting.
Come in after your annual review.
That's
and just
right.
let it all out.
Yeah, I get lots of requests to use the facility for that. So. Yeah, but the entire facility is actually built as a box that sits on top of springs inside of a concrete tub, and every connection to it is non-rigid. So there's some flexible connection, whether it's the water for the sprinklers or the power or the HVAC or whatever. So there's no physical connection to the rest of the building. It's all loose, and that
wow. So there's no vibration from anything.
We're completely decoupled. And when we were building a facility, we actually had to measure just to see how much vibration was here. We could even pick up the freeway.
Yeah.
Which is like, almost half a mile away from the ground. So we have to try to do everything we can to get it as quiet as we can. So.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So right here we actually have one of the test setups. I don't have the webcam, the cinema setup right now, but essentially this is our reference microphone, and we're using a particular reference speaker, and this is where we would generate some test signals with.
Yeah.
And then we would look at our webcam right here next to this reference microphone, and then the comparison we can use to figure out how we're performing essentially.
Yeah.
And then using that information, we can go then fine tune the design.
How is the microphone on the new webcam?
No, it's great. We put a lot of effort and work into it, and modifying the plastics and the housings and stuff to get it just right. So we're really happy with it actually.
So what are the differences that the different housings make on that webcam? Because we saw some in the model shop, and I can't imagine that it makes that big a difference, but obviously it must.
It does. In fact, I think a good way to think about it is if you've been to like a church with a big pipe organ, and all of those pipes are different sizes and they have very different sounds.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing. By changing the openings and the shapes, we can radically change the response. And our goal, of course, is to make it sound natural. So we're trying to remove the effects of the web camera from the microphone. If we just had the microphone, it would be fine. But by putting it inside the camera, there's always some trade-offs there. So we're trying to minimize the impact that the webcam has on the microphone's performance. So
now this is a new building, so is this new too?
Absolutely. Yes, it was just finished. We've been working on it for a couple of years actually.
Yeah.
We're really fortunate in the new labs here to actually have had them designed from the ground up. So this building was built around the labs.
Wow.
And we were actually pulled in from the get-go to help figure out how to build it correctly to get these in here. So
Yeah. What happened to the old one?
the old facility is still over there. We use it as a backup. So, but we essentially
You
have
record
three.
podcasts in there.
Yeah,
then.
exactly. So we actually have 3 facilities. We have one, our old one, this one, and then Microsoft Research has another chamber, and that's what we have on campus. So we're very fortunate. We have a lot of ability to test audio and do a really good job with it. So
Well, this is amazing. I don't want to leave.
yeah, the wedges are made out of fiberglass, and they're coated with a fiberglass cloth and a steel hardware cloth, and that's what keeps them shaped. And essentially the lowest frequency we can absorb down to, so it's the high frequencies are very easy to absorb because they're very small.
Yeah.
It's the low frequencies that become more difficult because they start bouncing, and the lowest frequency is determined by the length of these wedges. So this goes down to about 80 hertz if you, in an audio spectrum. Human hearing goes down to 20 hertz. But in order to have a facility that would go down that low, these would have to be about 15 feet long.
Yeah.
And it'd have to be like 150 feet across. So
Yeah.
it gets a little expensive.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, so this is actually one of the better ones you can get for doing full frequency measurements. It's actually a really nice facility. So very fortunate to have it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing us this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. Anything else we should cover in here? I hear your stomach.
Yes, my stomach is growling because my lunch is sitting out there.